And when you audit a new account, a new Amazon seller account, what are the main customer journey stages that you look for?
The only difference is that PPC can burn cash very fast if you do it wrong.
Within Amazon, what's kind of the starting stage of the journey?
So that's something you can do. Is not the priority because it usually is not the main goal of your marketing.
What are the most important touch points inside Amazon that directly influence in conversion?
So you need to think that Amazon is so competitive right now that you can never do everything.
Ecom Squeezed podcast.
Welcome back to Ecom Squeezed. I am your host, Sebastian, founder of Retail-Outsource. And today we have a special guest talking about something every Amazon sellers, they think they understand, but few really know it correctly. That's the Amazon customer journey. To break it down, we have Pietro today as our guest. And he's the founder of Success Mapper joining us today. And he have deep experience on Amazon FBA, Amazon PPC, SEO, product research, and the list goes on. So basically, he knows ins and out of Amazon ecosystem. And today we are going to discuss about just a single part, that's the customer journey. So welcome to the show, Pietro.
Hi, Sebastian. Thanks a lot for having me here. And I want to say hi to all the viewers.
Great. So Pietro, how do you start this? How you started your Amazon journey?
Yeah, so I started as an Amazon seller in 2017, and I've been selling since then. I still have my Amazon store going on. And after a few years, we developed a team, we grown it, and we've seen that other people asked us some help, right? So we started with freelancing, and then we became an agency. So since 2017, we basically worked on Amazon in all the steps of the Amazon marketing, and now we do it as a service.
Nice. That's great. And we had a chat before this podcast, and we discussed that, we will talk about the customer journey. And you mentioned not a lot of people talk about this special point. So
yes.
For the viewers, could you explain what is customer journey?
Yeah. So I will try to explain what is it, why is important, and why we developed this strategy that actually is not a strategy that developed, is the natural e-commerce process. But we try to make it very simple for Amazon sellers specifically. So the Amazon customer journey is the full experience the Amazon customers do and have when they want to buy any product, from when they are not sure what to buy to when they are a fan and in love with a specific brand and product, and they rebuy and they gift to family members this product because they love it so much. And I think this process is very important because it's increasing the lifetime value of your customers and make sure that the profitability is there. Because if you can increase the lifetime value of your product by 5 times or 10 times, and it's possible even with small products, you can really have margin and you can do marketing at a loss. Since Amazon is so expensive right now for marketing, for PPC and advertisement, a lot of the time, the best sellers are the ones that acquire clients at a loss. So if you take the Amazon customer journey and if you optimize every step on the way, you will be able to beat the competition everywhere and optimize for lifetime value.
That's great. And when you audit a new account, a new Amazon seller account, what are the main customer journey stages that you look for? Like, is that discovery, listing, or is that trust building brand? There are a lot of different aspects, right, of that customer journey. So what are the major one?
Yeah, so the Amazon customer journey, how we see it, it has a lot of steps. It's around, I think, 40 or 50 steps, right? But the main ones, most of sellers think about 5 or 10, but there is a lot of steps to optimize. But usually, the most important ones are the common one are Amazon SEO that is not well understood. Most Amazon sellers think to understand the keywords analysis very well, but most of sellers don't really understand deeply the keywords meaning, right? And the optimization of the images. With the clients that we work at, this is usually the most important steps of optimization that we check and that we start working in. And of course, PPC is also a touch point of this Amazon customer journey that is not understood very well. The only difference is that PPC can burn cash very fast if you do it wrong. So it's very important for that reason, right? And there is also other steps in the customer journey that are not well understood, that is after the purchase. Because what you want to do if you have an Amazon store is to make sure clients buy the same product for 2, 3, 4 times. Because after they buy so many times your product, they will become a fan and recommend to family members and give this item to other people. So to do that, you need also to have 2 important touch points that most Amazon sellers don't understand. That is product packaging marketing and the product success marketing. So how to make sure that the marketing on the package is increasing the recurrent purchases, and how to make sure that success with the product, because every client has a goal buying your product. You need to make sure that they are super successful with what they want to do.
Yeah, great. Pietro, for this, we talked about journey, right? Within Amazon, what's kind of the starting stage of the journey? Is that, typing on the keyword search? Is that the thing, or is there anything else?
Yeah. So you need to think about if you're an Amazon client going on Amazon, what is your experience? The first thing you see is the home page on Amazon, right? So you can optimize for the homepage of Amazon with promotion and discounts, right? So that's something you can do. It's not the priority, because it's usually is not the main goal of your marketing. The most profitable way is to optimize on specific keywords. So after people are on the homepage, they're gonna type keywords that are generic usually. Generic means that they are not 100% sure what they're gonna buy. So for example, if they want to buy a product, they see a generic keyword, they see the results, they see the title and the images, and they try to understand and brainstorm what kind of specific keywords, long tail keywords they want. So you optimize for the generic keyword in some way, but it's not the most profitable way. And then you optimize for the high intent, super relevant keywords. Those keywords are usually the most profitable because it's the touch point where clients are ready to click and buy. When clients click on one product listing from a high intent search term, they're usually prone to purchase, or usually they try to compare to other products. So for example, to optimize for this step is how can you optimize the first view on the main page on the search term so that clients think that you match exactly their search term that they typed. So what is your main image doing? What is the start of the title is doing? What kind of pricing do you have? What kind of pricing per quantity do you have? What kind of discounts do you have? And you need to think also that they're probably gonna click on the product and maybe compare with other products. So try to understand what are your competitors doing, what is gonna happen when they compare your product to the competition. Right. This is one of the main first steps. If you want, I can also tell you more about the steps. There is so many stuff to talk.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
Great. So after this step, usually the next step to optimize is the product listing. What we think about product listing is dividing the product listing in 2 or 3 sections. So the first section of the product listing is the static image the clients see when they click from desktop. They see usually the images, the title, and some basic information, prices, and reviews. So this is one of the most important steps, right? So how can you optimize the second, the third, and the fourth images? Because a lot of sellers don't read quickly the text. They like to buy from images. So how can you communicate what they want into the images? How can you communicate what you want in the title? Because yes, it's very good for keywords ranking, but how are you able to communicate what they want, maybe the search term that they're searching exactly in the title? That can help. And then how can you optimize for reviews? To optimize for reviews is usually the strategy is very simple. You use Vine at the beginning. You make sure that the success of your product is great. You don't have problems. You have a package marketing so that the client make 5-star reviews in a natural and compliant way, right? After this section of the page is optimized, you need to think about what is the second section of the page. That is usually bullet points and some advertisement of competitors. So usually these are the main two touch points that we have. So how can we make sure to be in the advertising section so that competitors don't steal from us, right? The clients. How can we optimize for bullet points that answer exactly to the benefits and the requirements of the keywords? So this is the second section. After the second section, there is another section below that is about Atlas content, reviews, questions and answers. And to be honest with you, a lot of people think this is the third most important section, but it usually is not the most important thing, because a lot of clients make already a decision before going into this section, especially if the niche is not super competitive. After this step, you need to think about that the client is gonna add to the cart the product and is gonna decide if buying or not. The touch point here could be, for example, the Amazon brand tailored promotions. So you can optimize for purchasing the ad card section with this brand tailored promotion that is basically list building that Amazon is doing. And after these steps is about the purchase. So clients purchase your product and they're gonna receive the product. You need to make sure that the client receives the product and has an amazing experience regarding what he gets. So what he sees on the package, what he sees inside, what it is in the instruction, what maybe QR code with videos explaining the use you provide to the clients, right? And pretty much this is the starting point. That is the most important part. And after that, the goal of your product is about success. So how can you have the best resistant quality product that is giving success to the clients so that the clients buy more and more? And we see, for example, I've been giving you an interesting example. We managed a product in France, and this product was purchased from a manager of a big company. And this is the exact process that the client got, right? After purchasing the product, this manager fell in love with the product so much that purchased for Christmas for all the company 100 units, something like that. So optimizing is a great lifetime value increase, you see. So by optimizing all the process and the product package experience and the success of the product, you are able to multiply by 100 times the sales, right? And that's exactly what you need to do to be very profitable.
That's great. That's a very detailed explanation, Pietro. Appreciate it. In terms of, you have a lot of years of experience, I think around 10 plus years, right? Or more than that.
Almost.
And you have worked with a lot of clients as well. So what are the most important, touch points inside Amazon that directly influence in conversion? Conversion is a big thing, right, within Amazon?
Yeah. So when we work with clients, is all about priority, focus, and return of investment, right? So you need to think that Amazon is so competitive right now that you can never do everything. Like, even if you pay the best agency, they'll probably not be able to make it cost effective for you to do everything. They need to optimize by the most important thing. So you need to think what is the biggest leverage for you to increase the conversion and the sales with the minimum effort. What I see, if I talk directly with Amazon owner, is if they master Amazon keywords analysis, they really understand everything after, because the keywords tell you exactly the behavior and the desires and goals of the clients by number, because you get the search volume and the conversion rate with the search query reports, right? The second leverage that I see and I suggest everyone to master is the main image. Main image is something that you can do quite quickly, right? But if you have a bad main image, you can double the conversion. So you can add in a way that is compliant with Amazon what client want in the main image. You can really cut the advertisement by half, and you can increase the conversion by double with a minimum effort. So yeah, I suggest to do a lot of testing, a lot of main image creations, and test with product experiments in Amazon to see what kind of behavior clients have. And another interesting thing that we do with clients that we suggest is about looking at your niche or very good niches like supplement niche, what they do with main image and learn from them and see what is the limit of the niche that you have. Because Amazon is quite strict limits about what you can do with the main image, but we see a lot of the time with our clients that the best-selling clients are borderline compliant, right? They're not 100% thermoservice compliant. It is bad to say, but this is the truth. If you're not able to find the limit that Amazon accepts, you will not be able to compete so much. Right.
That's a very good point. It's so crowded, the market. And if you are just generic image, you don't get the clicks, to be honest. You're right about 100% agree with you on that one. And Pietro, you mentioned about the PPC as well, right? You manage a lot of PPC. So where does PPC fit into that customer journey?
Yeah, so the PPC fits in different point of the customer journey. So the obvious touch point of PPC is about top of search. So it's usually because most of your spend goes to sponsored product, right? Usually the obvious touch point is top of search when they type on exact keywords. Then there is product placement. So when they click on a listing, they see advertisement there, right? So this is the second touch point where PPC is present. And then there is also some advertisement when they want to buy again. It's the same advertisement, but you can target it with list building in sponsor ads. There is some audiences that now you can select, like high intent audiences, returning purchasers. So these are usually the main point that you need to optimize for PPC, keeping in mind that there is not so much you can do with PPC touch points, but the touch points that you have, they need to be super optimized to be cost effective. The PPC problem is how can you make it cost effective, right?
That's true. Yeah. That's true. And Pietro, most of these sellers, they treat their listings like a product brochure, right? And should they treat more like a guided sales journey, or just let them treat as a brochure?
I think is a journey. As I told you, like we divided the listing in 3 sections because the only fact that you scroll down the page on mobile or a desktop, it means there is a sort of funnel. You need to make sure that the scroll is happening first. Maybe there is something blocking the scroll. What it might be, like the price, the photos, the quality. So this is the first touch point in the scrolling, let's say. So it's very complex. You can check every step. My suggestion for the customer is for your viewers, is make sure the customer have the best experience and optimize as much as possible in a cost-effective way, because you cannot do everything, right? So how can you optimize and make sure that your product is not a brochure, is an amazing experience, right?
Yeah. And if you want to order a few factors within the listing, the price, the creatives, the branding, the reviews, how do you put them in order based on most likely that this is the number one factor that affect that sales journey or the path?
Keyword selection I put always at the first, because everything you do after, also the main images, is about understanding the keywords, right? So the main image is very important. Third and fourth and the secondary images, so for example image 2, 3 and 4 are very, very important. So for example, we talked with another Amazon expert that used to work inside Amazon, and he said that a lot of Amazon Amazon customer don't look at all the pictures and watch the second, third, fourth picture the most, and they start to make a decision out of that without reading the text. So how can you communicate the text, the informations into the images is something you need to optimize. After that is about PPC, right? If you can optimize from a cost point of view. So it's not about optimization of the touch point, because you cannot optimize too much the touch point. You can optimize, for example, if you have a video, you can optimize the experience of the video, right? But if you don't have a video, or creatives is all about cost effectiveness. And after that is about how can you make 5-star reviews. It's not only about the 5-star reviews. It's about why people make 5-star review. So how can your listing solve objections before they buy? So for example, we used to sell a product and the clients used to say, I was thinking this was made in Italy, but actually it's made in China, right? And it was written already in the listing. It was very clear that it was made in China. So what we do, we wrote made in China in every bullet points, very, very annoying. But in this way, you can increase the star rating by 1 star because you need to think that yes, you do marketing, but sometimes you need to optimize even more if it's necessary, right? Or maybe another interesting topic, and then I let you speak, Sebastian, because I talk too much. So for example, something that people don't understand, having an expensive product can be a selling point, especially if you are in the fashion, design, and luxury line, or maybe in the healthcare, right? So we had a super expensive product and the objection was is double the price of the competition. So what we did was telling in the bullet points and the images, this product is expensive. Why? Because it's higher quality. It's not for everyone. And this is luxury marketing. So you can turn also bad point and objections in benefits if you can communicate, because who's buying for the double the price? Or who has the objection, is it too expensive? He simply wants an answer. And if you can give the answer, maybe they're going to buy anyway.
Yeah, very true, very true. Pietro, you mentioned about the images. You mentioned that normally buyers, they don't read the bullet points. And in terms of images, you mentioned maybe they will just scroll through a few images. And especially on mobile, it applies. People just scroll through images. So in terms of image stack, do you have any preference? Like, first image, like second image, lifestyle, maybe third, fourth. Do you have any preference in terms of how does the image stack looks like?
Okay, so I try to keep it very simple. So one clear message in each image with different languages based on the language of the marketplace. Sometimes also multiple languages. If, for example, you sell in some European country, you need to have 2 languages. So this is the most important thing. About what you communicate, what we do is about defining very well the requirements for the customer and make sure to make the images as simple as possible, including, of course, a comparison, comparing features with the competition in the images is very powerful because it's explaining very well the concept. And trying to not over-explain too much. Because, for example, we work a lot with supplements and cosmetic niche. A lot of those products, also with medical niche, they are quite complex to explain, right? But if you make it too complex, you're going to lose complete segments of the market. Because you need to think about who's reading your listing. Could be like a teenager of 15 years old, right? Or it could be like a grandma of 80 years old. If you over-explain, especially in the first images, you're gonna make it very confusing for clients, right? So you need to also understand how can you communicate what you need, but in a way that customer read it all if necessary. So I suggest to put a lot of technical informations at the end, because the basic buyers, they maybe check the second, third, and fourth images. They want basic information, and maybe someone more technical and logical gonna screw till the end. So you can monitor, for example, how many phrases do you have for each image, and you can increase double the phrases the more scrolling happens. But there is not a real fix rule. What I can say is also about continuous optimization. So you can start with something, and then if you have any problem, or if you don't rank on a specific keyword, you can optimize for that lacking keyword only.
Great. And Pietro, about I want to touch base about a lot of sellers. They already have basic A+ content, and they will say, "Oh, I don't want to upgrade to a premium one." So, in your experience, have you seen any of the accounts that you manage that you upgraded to from basic to premium, and there is an improvement, or maybe there's not an improvement? What's your experience on that?
Okay, so the most important experience I have regarding premium A+ content is that you can implement the video, right? I think that is the difference, right? Video, I think, is very, very useful in A+ content because you can put it at the top. You can put all the A+ content in the video, and you communicate with a human face of the owner or a doctor or an expert. It can be very good for conversion, especially in very competitive niche. What I want to say about A+ content, you need to understand if it's your priority or not. Because if your main images are bad and your keywords optimization, you selecting the bad keywords, the A+ content is not the most important thing. If you are top of the niche and you are optimized on everything, going on premium A+ content with a video, well done video, that is a VSL, video sales letter, can really convert a lot, especially if you have a very technical product. Like in the medical niche, if you have someone with a white coat, it makes a big difference.
That's very true, yeah. There is a section for Q&A as well, right? So we can include that. I think they used to have Q&A, but they removed it. It's only review now. But we can include that question and answers on the A+. How important is that to have that section? Obviously, there'll be a lot of questions on that customer journey, right? For a customer to before purchasing the item.
Okay, so that's an interesting topic. So you're asking about the Q&A section?
Yeah. So maybe including the main question that a customer might have, including that information in the A+ content. Will that smooth out,
Okay, so it's very interesting. So you can use the Q&A section for remarketing. Some people don't know, but if you ask questions often there, the question will be sent to all your customer, and there will be a notification about your product, and you can stay top of the line to repurchase. So this is a very interesting thing that not many sellers do. You can ask every month or every 2 weeks, ask a question so that all your customers remember your product. There is a Rufus also that there is a big LLM for Amazon that, in my opinion, from what I see people doing, the behavior, people used to search by keyword on Google, on Amazon. The teenagers or the young people, everyone, is start to not search anymore by keywords, but by questions. So what I expect is that you will need to optimize more your listing for answers, right? To do that, you can make a list of questions in the Q&A section to give the answer that the LLM needs to tell to customer when they ask. LLMs, so for example, ChatGPT, Gemini, or Rufus, they are not so smart to get the right answer all the time. But if you are able to make a list of the frequently asked questions that your customer do based on the funnel that you have in your marketing experience, you can make a list of the question, you can make the answer, you can ask in the Q&A the exact question, you can answer by yourself with other accounts, right? In this way, the Rufus will be better to answer. And then you can monitor also Rufus. You can type your question related to your product and see what is ranking. I think it's very advanced. I think you need to do it if the niche is very competitive, but I think that's the future. I see keywords being used a little bit less in the future, because if I see young people in my family, they do ChatGPT. They ask questions. They don't type keywords. It's incredible.
Yeah, true. For example, if you go for hiking or somewhere in the mountain, they will say, okay, I'm going for hiking in this mountain. Tell me the accessory that I need. So the ChatGPT knows the temperature of that place during that time.
Mm-hmm.
And according to that, they will suggest the clothing. So it makes things easier, right? So, that's a different level of optimization.
Exactly. Because that's the exactly problem with keywords that we see. We try to understand the intent of keywords, but sometimes the intent is not clear. With question, you have a very specific intent that is obvious. So you can optimize for intent more. I think what you said is very true. It will be the future, in my opinion, of Amazon buying on Amazon.
And Amazon have a lot of tools like coupons, discount, subscribe and save. There's virtual bundles. So do you consider them as like just conversion boosters, or do you think of anything else in terms of in the angle of customer journey?
Okay. You're talking about promotions?
Yeah, any tools like promotion, discounts, sub and save, bundles. Sub and save have different different objective completely, but in general.
Okay, so what we try to do when we work with clients is we try to focus on the bottom of the funnel, so the conversion rate, not about the demand generation. The conversion rate promotions usually are, it depends of the budget, but if limited budget, we focus there. The Amazon brand tailored promotions, I think, are one of the most targeted promotion that you can do. So cart abandoners, high value customers, clients or the client that you're losing, I think you should do weekly or bi-weekly or monthly this kind of promotion, because it's list building from Amazon. We also do some interesting tactics right now that is upselling and cross-selling with ads. So instead of doing protective advertisement, we do upselling and cross-selling advertisement. In this way we can protect more the clients. You can do with promotions, I'm not sure. With us you can do it. It's something, I don't know if you can consider it as a tool of Amazon or not. Regarding other tool of Amazon, for sure discounts, quantity discounts are useful, and percentage discounts are useful for the getting the clicks. Yeah, those are the main one I think are most important.
Great. And I want to ask ask about Amazon Marketing Cloud. I think in that you can download a report of this path to conversion, something in that range. If you download that report, we'll be able to see exact touch points before the customer have purchased the item.
Yeah, it is another interesting topic. If you work with big marketplaces, you have a lot of data, you can analyze that. You can get a lot of data. If you have small selling items and you sell in small marketplaces like in Europe, I want to all the people know that data can confuse you a lot. So what we do usually is we work logically about the experience, the marketing experience, the marketing funnel. We take inspirations from all the tools, brand analytics, all the tools that Amazon gives, but then we analyze it intellectually. So I think that's how we do the optimize. So we take inspirations from all this amount of data, but to be honest, having too much data sometimes is a waste of time. Be careful about not getting lost in too much data. It's a typical, for example, with keywords. A lot of sellers optimize by keywords looking at data, like how many competitors are ranking on specific keywords. Amazon is not perfect to ranking or optimize. There is a lot of reasons for Amazon to ranking items. So be careful. You are smarter than algorithms and statistics for now, right?
Yeah. Great, perfect. And in terms of, I have like two more questions. So in terms of the tools that you normally use for Amazon sellers, which one do you recommend in terms of market research or a day-to-day running of an Amazon account? So what are your tools, favorite tools?
Okay, we want always financial KPI tracker. They could be like Seller Board or Zone Wizard, or there are a few around. That I think is the most important thing. Then another advertisement management tool. I don't like fully AI managed softwares, but I mean, there are some good ones. Like we use a lot Ad Labs. I mean, we had also created a tutorial because I like it a lot. Also SellerMate. We worked a bit with SellerMate. Is good. So I suggest to have this kind of softwares because they give good data. So not too much data, but very good data that are important for ads management. And they automate a lot of processes. Then we use we monitor ranking. To monitor ranking and keywords analysis, we do usually use Helium 10. If we want big data, historical data amount, we use Seller Sprite because they give like years and years of search volume, but Helium 10 usually is the main one. And then we use a refound software. I think is something that all Amazon sellers should use because Amazon wastes a lot of stuff. You don't know till you don't try this kind of softwares. And then we use a lot of AI tools, right? AI right now is incredible. We use Gemini, some cloud, ChatGPT, but me personally, I prefer Gemini right now. And a lot of Google Spreadsheet. Google Spreadsheets all the time.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the number one, right? Always spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I live on spreadsheets.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I agree with you on the tools that you mentioned, and I like Ad Labs a lot.
Yeah,
I have tried PPC software which are fully AI. It didn't work out. We tried for like a few months.
I'm telling you why also.
We settled on Ad Labs.
The problem with AI, fully automated AI software is about data amounts, I think, especially if you work in Europe. I mean, we have a lot of clients in Europe. You don't have enough data to optimize by data. It's sad, but that's true. Yeah. A lot of the time you need to predict the conversion rate because otherwise you need 2 years of sales at a loss. It's a waste of... clients will kill me if I do something like that.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Pietro, my last question is, AI is a big thing.
Yeah.
So for the sellers, is there any specific automation that you want to tell them or what you like, most likely? Either it can be PPC automation, through any of those, maybe GPT, Claude, or Gemini, or anything. Would you want to share that, please?
Okay, so a secret of how we work, we do keywords categorization by AI. So we program spreadsheets with AI, and then the formula are working without AI, but we program a lot with AI. Right now, I think is unbeatable. It's so amazing. So that's the first thing that sellers should do. If they do any spreadsheet work, learn to program formulas, very complex formulas with Gemini, right? Or ChatGPT or Cloud. About the listing images creation, I think right now some AI softwares creating images are unbeatable for cost. There are good designers. So if you want to have the best images with the best marketing, of course, go with designers, human designers. But if you have big catalogs, AI image creation, I think, is unbeatable right now. Using softwares with AI, Ad Labs, I don't remember what they do with AI. I think they do a lot or not.
Not that much, I think.
Yeah. I think they're not doing too much with AI. I'm thinking if there is anything related to PPC that we do with AI, I think keyword selection is the biggest thing we do with AI. And then we do manual optimization in bulk that is not AI. And then writing copy with Gemini or Cloud is very important. And I think if you have a lot of data, you can try to read the data with AI to not get confused about the amount of data. That's all, I think.
That's great list, Pietro. And Pietro, thanks a lot for giving all those wonderful tips. Appreciate that. Appreciate your time.
One thing I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, sorry. About AI, we do some content repurpose outside of Amazon sometime. So if there is some products, we do content posting on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We don't do it manually, but we repost from main video ads, for example, with Opus Clip, for example. That's a good AI tool that you can use.
Oh, that's a very nice tip. Thank you.
Yeah.
So the viewers will love it. And Pietro, thanks a lot for sharing all these wonderful tips. Do you want to tell the viewers where they can find you, and if you offer any free discovery call or any other tips that you want to share with the community, please?
Yeah. So the best 2 free resources that you can get with us is if you go on our website, you can get successmappers.com. You can get a free marketing analysis where we give you a free plan, or there is some guides, and the best guide we have is a PPC guide that we use with our clients to optimize the PPC in 24 hours. So if you want to know more about that process, you go on the website, you get it for free.
Great. So what I will do, I will put the website details down in the show notes, and also the profile link to LinkedIn for Pietro as well. So you will find both of them. So please do check it out. And thanks a lot to Pietro for sharing the wonderful tips to the community.
Thank to you. I think you are very consistent. You do a great content, a great work here.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate that. Thank you, Pietro. Cheers.